Okay, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum. My name is Shahriyar Khan and my roll number is 1812. So, my presentation is on Benjamin Johnson. He was an actor, playwright, and poet. He was born on June 11th, 1572, at Westminster, London, England, and he died on 6th of August 1637 at Westminster, London, England. So, the father of Benjamin Johnson was a minister and he died just before the birth of his son. Benjamin Johnson, educated at Westminster School by the great classical scholar William Camden. After the death of his father, his mother married a bricklayer and he used to work with his stepfather as a bricklayer. He cannot endure to work as a bricklayer and joined the army and served in Flanders, where he fought against the Spaniards. So in 1592, Benjamin Johnson returned to England and started to work as an actor and playwright. In 1594, Benjamin Johnson married Annie Lewis and had two children with her. So now we will have a look on the works of Benjamin Johnson. Basically, Benjamin Johnson was an eccentric figure to his contemporary poets and writers. He was in strong contrast to his contemporaries, and he aimed at restoring the classical standards of the plays. Uh, the most important in these classical standards was the three unities of Aristotle. The Alchemist is a perfect example, which followed all the three unities of classical literature. So Benjamin Johnson never took liberty to the historical facts, and he was accurate even to the smallest detail in mentioning the historical facts and figures. So unlike Shakespeare and his plays, he was careful and he logically constructed his plots, keeping comedy and tragedy apart. So his plays are realistic, which depicts the men and women of his age. From a few of his plays, one can easily understand as to how much the people of his time uh, uh, acted and how they talked as compared to the Shakespearean plays. So he wrote his first great play, Every Man in His Humor, in 1598. It was basically a satire and it inaugurated the so called comedy of humors since it was not that common in the literature before his writings. And his comedies of humor or humorous nature, they basically ridiculed the eccentricities or passion of the character. So Benjamin Johnson used to exaggerate the humorous characters in his plays as a cartoonist would enlarge the face features uh, in his leading roles. So Shakespeare performed in one of the parts of his play, and perhaps this is when he became a good friend of Shakespeare. So every man in his humor is followed by Cynthia's Revels. It's also a humorous satire, and it satirizes the court, the humors of the court. So while his third play was Poetester, it was the result of a quarrel with his contemporaries at the false standards of the poets of his age. So basically, there were three best of Johnson's comedies, which are the Volpone or the Fox, the Alchemist, and the Epicene or the Silent Woman. And apart from these comedies, he wrote two great tragedies as well, Sejanos and Catiline. Uh, these were basically based upon the classical lines and standards of the plays and tragedies. So, Volpone is a sharp analysis of a man governed by his love of money. So, this play is a satire and it satirizes the lust of the his contemporary people for money and their greed for wealth. And the first lines of this play are good morning to the day, and next, my gold. Open the shrine that I may see my saint. So the shrine and the saint for Volpone were not the human beings or the sacred places, rather, it was money, the piles of gold and jewels. So his method of increasing wealth was to play with the covetousness of men, and he pretended to be at the point of death. His suitors, knowing that he had no heirs, so they tried to sweeten his last moments, and the whole plot is furnished by the intrigues of the suitors. So, is this play basically shows as that to what depths greed leads a man. So, The Alchemist is one of the remarkable plays and has some great passages. It is The Alchemist about which Coleridge claims that it has one of the three most perfect plots in the history of literature. So it is the most readable plays of Benjamin Jonson, and it's also a satire. And in its plot and artistic construction, it's a perfect specimen of the best English drama. So it is also based on the medieval idea of philosopher's stone as of the Chaucer's the canon's Yeoman's Tale. So the subject of alchemist is also again quackery and men's get to rich schemes. Wealth it is concerned for, and the epicene or the silent woman it's another comedy which is written in prose form by Benjamin Jonson. So it's well constructed and full of life. It abounds in fun and consists of unexpected situations. So the play is about a man named Dauphin who creates a scheme to get his inheritance from his uncle Moros. Again, the wealth and lust for money is one of the most important feature in this play. So the plan involves setting Moros up to marry Epicene, who is a boy disguised as a woman. So, like the other Johnson plays, it shows a sad state of morals among the upper classes and their greed and lust for wealth. So, apart from these plays, Benjamin Johnson wrote masques in honor of James I and of Queen Anne. So, some best of these masks are the satire, the peanuts, mask of blackness, mask of beauty, hue and cry after Cupid, and the mask of queens. Apart from these masks, Benjamin Jonson wrote a single volume of prose as well, called as Timber or Discoveries Made Upon Men and Matter. So it's an interesting collection of short essays which resembles to Bacon's than any other work of his age. So that was all from my side about Benjamin Jonson. Okay, thank you and Allah Hafiz.